The studio lights glow softly, polished and familiar, the kind that promise comfort and daytime warmth. The audience settles into their seats, unaware that what begins as a routine television interview is about to become one of the most uncomfortable moments ever imagined on live daytime TV. Dame Judi Dench enters the studio with the quiet confidence of a woman who has spent a lifetime commanding stages far grander than this one. The applause is immediate, warm, and respectful. She smiles gently, nodding in thanks, her presence carrying decades of artistry, discipline, and legacy. This is not merely a guest appearance, it feels like a celebration of a career that helped shape British theatre and cinema. The panel welcomes her politely. At first, everything flows as expected. Questions about her latest projects, reflections on her early days in theatre, light laughter about memorable on-set moments. Judi speaks with grace, choosing her words carefully, offering wisdom without arrogance. The audience listens closely, leaning into every sentence. But then the tone shifts. One of the panelists leans forward, her expression sharpening slightly. Her voice, still calm, introduces a new direction to the conversation, one that feels less like curiosity and more like challenge. She asks whether Judi believes the entertainment industry has moved on from legends of the past. She suggests, subtly at first, that younger audiences want new faces, new voices, and that perhaps icons of earlier generations struggle to stay relevant. A quiet tension ripples across the studio. Judi pauses. She does not react emotionally. Instead, she answers thoughtfully, explaining that relevance is not defined by age but by purpose, dedication, and honesty in one's work. She speaks of storytelling as a timeless art, one that grows deeper with experience rather than fading. The audience applauds. For a moment, it seems the moment has passed. But it hasn't. The panelist presses further. Her words now sound sharper, more direct. She questions whether prolonged visibility of veteran performers limits opportunities for younger talent. She implies that stepping aside is not only natural, but necessary. The air changes. Judi's expression tightens, not in anger, but in disbelief. She gently but firmly responds, pointing out that creativity is not a competition with a finish line. She speaks about mentorship, about collaboration across generations, about how art thrives when experience and youth coexist rather than collide. Another panelist attempts to redirect the conversation, sensing the growing discomfort. But the exchange has already crossed an invisible line. The challenging panelist interrupts. She remarks that admiration should not shield anyone from criticism. She questions whether Judi's continued presence is driven by passion or by fear of being forgotten. The studio falls silent. This time, Judi does not smile. She straightens in her chair, her voice steady but unmistakably firm. She explains that fear has never been her motivation. She speaks of decades of discipline, rejection, resilience, and respect for the craft. She reminds the panel, and the audience, that longevity is earned, not demanded. Her words are calm, but they land heavily. The moderator glances off camera. Producers shift behind the scenes. The tension is no longer subtle, it is uncomfortable, undeniable. The panelist responds defensively, suggesting that honesty is being mistaken for disrespect. Voices overlap briefly. The polished rhythm of daytime television begins to fracture. Judi raises her hand, not dramatically, but decisively. She states that there is a difference between discussion and dismissal, between conversation and provocation. She says she agreed to appear out of respect for the audience, not to justify her existence. A beat passes. Then she removes her microphone. Gasps echo through the studio. The audience does not applaud. They don't know how to react. This is not rehearsed. This is not playful. This is a boundary being drawn in real time. Judi stands. She addresses the room one final time, not with anger, but with disappointment. She says that respect is the foundation of every meaningful exchange, and without it, no platform, no matter how popular, is worth standing on. She walks off set. Cameras hesitate. The moderator calls for a break. The screen fades, leaving behind a stunned silence that lingers far longer than the broadcast itself. Later, clips circulate. Opinions divide instantly. Some claim she overreacted. Others defend her unwaveringly. Debates ignite online about ageism, respect, and the way media treats its legends. Comment sections explode with arguments about relevance, entitlement, and dignity. But beneath all the noise, one truth remains clear. This was not about ego. This was not about conflict. This was about respect. Whether imagined or real, the story resonates because it touches a nerve that exists far beyond television studios. It speaks to how society views experience, how quickly admiration turns into impatience, and how easily legacy is challenged in a culture obsessed with novelty. And in the end, the most powerful moment was not the argument. It was the walk away. Because sometimes, the strongest statement isn't shouted into a microphone, it's made in silence, as you choose dignity over spectacle.